Hello, everyone. A very good evening to all of you. Well, I can see a lot of messages coming up, popping up on the comment section. That's really great. All of you are already conversing. Hello, all of you. Hello. So, I hope my audio and video both are clear to all of you. Good evening. Good evening. So, we'll be starting in another 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. Till then, let me give you a short summary of what we are going to do today. So today again we are going to cover up, one of the IELTS reading academic questions, and we have already covered many questions so far from the IELTS reading module. So I would like to go and watch them if in case you have missed it out. Yes, I'm fine too. Thank you so much for asking. So yes, let me come back to the information. So guys, if you have not, registered with us so far, please do register with us for online free, Shiksha IELTS classes. And these classes have been started for you, for your help, and they are free of cost. So I would advise all of you to make use of it. You just have to click on the link which is given in the description below, and you will get access to every free IELTS class of ours, as well as you will get, free access to sample papers and the assessments, even free, Shiksha counseling. So we have expert counselors who are willing to help you on your IELTS exam journey, as well as if you want to know any, if you want to get information about any other exam as well, like GMAT, GRE, or SAT, TOEFL, whatever. So you will get access to everything here free of cost. You just have to click on the link which is given in the description below. So the link is just right there below this live video. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is with the same name, Shiksha Study Abroad. So we have the YouTube channel with same name. You can subscribe with us so that you do not miss out any other video in future. All right. So yes, I can see that many of you are willing to ask questions and your doubts here on the comment section. No problem, don't worry. I will give you some time in the end of the IELTS class to ask your doubts and questions. So yes, please wait patiently till I start with the today's class. All right. So guys, without any further delay, let me share my screen with you and let me show you what I'm going to, tell you today about IELTS reading. So today we are going to cover up these questions to be covered. If you can see it on my screen right now. So to be covered, we are going to cover questions like summary completion, tables, flowcharts, notes, and then I'm going to give you some tips and strategies, okay, for all these questions today. Then I'm going to show you some sample question and answers. We will not solve them, but I will show you just to, let you know how your questions will look like. We will solve them tomorrow. So tomorrow is the assessment day. Tomorrow is the last day for your IELTS reading because we are starting with listening next week. So tomorrow we are going to cover up the last question of IELTS reading. Then we'll be solving, 1 or 2 questions from each question category. So tomorrow is your assessment day. So please keep your pen and pencils ready. We are going to cover up these, tips and strategies for these particular questions, then sample question and answers, and in the end I'll give you some time to ask your doubts. So basically doubt clearing session in the end. Okay. And previously what we have covered, let's see what are the topics which we have already covered till now. So in case you have missed out on any of these IELTS classes, just click on the link below which is for the registration and which is given in the description, and just click on it. Okay, you will get access to all these videos which you have missed out. So previously covered the webinars or the IELTS classes which we just had. We had covered diagram labeling questions, okay, first of all. Then secondly, we covered short answer questions. We also had, some knowledge about true, false, and not given. We also talked about yes, no, not given. Then we talked about all the kinds of matching questions like matching the heading, matching features, matching sentence ending, matching, information, all of that. And lastly, yesterday we covered up multiple choice questions, which are also known as MCQs. Okay. Now, let's move forward quickly because we have too much to cover today. So let's do it quickly so that you can have some time in the end to ask your questions. First, we are starting with summary completion questions. Okay, so let's read about it quickly. Summary completion questions appear regularly in the IELTS reading test, so you need to learn how to answer them. A summary is a short or clear description that gives the main facts or ideas about something. Okay, and in this case, it is a short summary of information from part of the text that has been set for your reading test. For summary completion questions, you will be given the text, a summary of information from a section of the text with some gaps, where words have been missed out. You may also be given a list of words to fill the gaps with, and you will be required to do one of the following tasks. So let's see what are those. First, you might be asked to fill in the gaps with the words from the word list, or you might be asked to fill in the gaps with words from the text. Okay, so anything among these two can be asked, in between these two can be asked to you. Now, skills needed. Let's see what are the skills which are needed for completing this kind of question. Skim the summary for general meaning. So far, you all already are aware of this word skim and scan. In case you do not know the meaning of it, please click on the link below so that you can go to the previous, IELTS class and watch the meaning of skim and scan. Then skim the summary for general meaning. Scan the text for specific information. Identify keywords, recognize synonyms and paraphrasing, and use the context to make predictions. Okay, these are some of the skill sets which are required out of you to solve summary completion questions. Let's see what are some key tips. So tips are very important. Let's see, vocabulary is the first tip. Summary completion questions are all about vocabulary. You need to be able to recognize a wide range of synonyms and also paraphrasing to score highly. Then second is answer order, very, very crucial. So the answers are usually in the same order in the text as the order of the missing words. On the rare occasions that they aren't, the keywords will help you to easily spot this. Now, words from the text questions. Take careful note on how many words you should write for your answer. This is very important, guys. Please take a note of it. No more than 2 words. If you write more than this, your answer will be marked wrong even if the information is incorrect. List of words questions. There will be more words in the list than there are gaps in the summary to fill. So you won't need them all. Your task is to select the correct ones. There will probably be some words in the list that you can eliminate immediately as clearly being incorrect. This could be because of their meaning or their grammar form. Cross them through in pencil so you don't waste time considering them. So this means, the last step means that you will be given more options just in order to confuse you. But you have to eliminate the unimportant ones and you have to select the crucial ones which you need for your answer. All right. Next, we come to prediction. Prediction is another tip. When you read the summary, try to predict the type of word you will need to fill each gap from the context of the sentence. Okay, so prediction is very much necessary. Sixth is use other clues. If you are able to predict the word form, example, and adjective, look for the adjective closest to the keyword in the text. This will probably be the word you need or a synonym of it. Okay. Then seventh is time management. If you're struggling to find a specific missing word, take an educated guess and move on. It's not worth losing too much time on it. So please do not waste your time on just, single question. That is not allowed out of you. That is not expected out of you. So please use your time very wisely. Now, eighth is grammar check or check your grammar. When you've entered your answer, check the sentence to ensure that it is grammatically correct. Okay. Ninth tip is don't read it all. That means you do not have to read each and every sentence. Okay. Now we come to common challenges faced while answering summary completion questions. Now there are some difficulties, which are faced by the candidates during their IELTS exam and while facing, these kind of questions, summary completion. So let's see what are these. A common mistake is not reading the instructions properly. Very crucial. As I said, as I told you, in the previous classes as well, that you have to read the instructions very carefully. Wasting time by reading the whole text. Go through the summary with blanks and compare it to the passage. Looking for the exact word in the given passage, either it's better to look for synonyms and paraphrasing. One of the simple mistakes that we can say is grammar. Grammar plays a very important role in your IELTS reading, listening, speaking, as well as your writing. Okay, so you must be aware of your grammar mistakes. Searching for a single answer for a very long time may ruin your times. Okay, so again, just do not waste your time on one single question. Just move on if you're not able to find the answer and move on to the other questions which you find easy so that you can gain at least some marks, right? Now, there are a few strategies to be followed, for this kind of question. Let's see what are they. So, first strategy is carefully read the instructions, taking particular note of where you should get the missing words from. A word list or the text. If it's the text, note the word limit for your answer. Example, no more than 2 words or no more than 3 words. Okay, these kind of instructions will be given to you in your paper. So you have to read them and you have to write your answer according to that. Second strategy is skim read the summary. Okay, to get a general understanding of what it's about. Third strategy is next read the summary in more detail and try to predict the type of word needed to fill each gap. Okay. Example, verb, noun, adjective, and what that word might be. Now, fourth strategy is if the question includes a list of words, see if you can guess any answers. Okay, so guessing is allowed until unless you're making it correctly. Fifth strategy is the summary will normally relate to one section of the text, probably 2 to 3 paragraphs. Your next job is to identify this. Pick out a few keywords from the summary to scan for, and names, numbers, places, or dates are ideal if there are any in the summary, as these will be easy to spot. Okay, so these can be your keywords as well. The names, places, dates, or the highlighting name of a person. Okay, something like that. All right, coming to the sixth strategy, read the first sentence of the summary with a gap in it and try to work out what form of word will fit in. Okay, so what form of word means a tense, a past tense, or a present tense. Do you need an adjective? Do you need a noun for your answer? Do you need a verb? What kind of word do you need as an answer? Okay, so that is very crucial to identify. Seventh strategy is identify 1 or 2 keywords and scan the section of text for them, watching out for synonyms and paraphrasing. Eighth strategy is when you found the part of the text with the answer in, read it in detail to identify the word you need and either in the text itself or from the word list. Ninth strategy, check your answer to ensure that the sentence is grammatically correct. Always revise in the end. Repeat this process for the rest of the missing words. Okay. Now I have a sample passage in front of you. So you will get something like this in your exam as well. So here are 3 paragraphs given to you. Part A, and the heading or the title of the passage is Evolution of Museums. Now I'm not solving it here right now. If you want to solve it later after we have finished the live session, you can always go back to the recorded video on our YouTube channel and you can, solve these problems and check your answers. I have also listed down the answers for you, so you can check it later by your own. So these are the summary, questions. Something like this will be given to you in the exam as well. So you can read the instruction here. Write 1 word only from part A of the passage for each answer. And here is a summary given to you in bullet points. And there are blanks in between 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you have to fill in these blanks. Okay. You can check the answers later on. Now we come to note completion questions, guys. So let's see what are note completion questions. The IELTS academic reading note completion question type is more complicated than the other question types. So in the note completion question, the passage will be given followed by some incomplete notes. You need to understand the notes to pick the right keyword. Then you have to compare the keyword with the passage to locate the exact text and identify the correct answer. So note completion is one of the regular question types. in the IELTS academic reading test. In the note completion question, you will be provided with one or more paragraphs followed by a few notes with blanks. You are asked to complete the notes with the suitable word from the given passage. Okay, so this is all what you have to do. Now, the skills required to solve this kind of question are: first, you must read the instructions properly and note them down for your reference. Read the passage and question clearly before you look for answers. The important thing is time management. Don't waste your time by reading the entire passage. Look for the relevant text that matches the question note. And some challenges which the IELTS candidates face are skipping the instructions given. So in case you skip the instruction, obviously you're going to suffer. So always read how many words do you have to write. Okay. Second challenge is looking for the answers without complete knowledge of the passage. So obviously you should have some knowledge about the passage before you actually attempt the question. Not finding the keywords and searching the answers using the word prior to the blanks. That is again a wrong strategy. Changing the word form. So if in case you're changing the word form, that is also a big mistake. Okay. Word form is the kind of word which you're using. For example, a noun, adjective, adverb. So whatever way it's given in the paper, in the text, in the same way you will have to write. But in the end, always cross-check whether it's fitting grammatically correct or not. Okay. Not looking for synonyms, the last challenge which the candidates face. Strategies and tips. Now let's see what are some strategies and tips which you can apply to complete, note completion questions successfully. So yes, first strategy is in the note completion questions, some important points or information from the given passage are presented in the form of notes. You are asked to complete the notes with missing information from the part of the passage. Note completion question type is quite similar to the table and flowchart completion question type. So the approach to finding the answers is similar. The approach, to finding these kind of questions, notes, table, flowcharts, it's all same, the approach. The incomplete notes you see at the bottom of the paragraph are usually in order, okay? But sometimes it may not be in sequence with the intention of making the task more difficult. So sometimes, guys, the chronological order of the answers can be there in your text, okay? You might find the answers in the right order from top to bottom. But sometimes in the note completion questions, it's, the answers are not given in chronological order. So you have to, swift here and there, right and left and top and bottom like that. Okay, so you'll have to search the answer everywhere. That is what it means. So sometimes, the examiners tend to make note completion questions difficult for you. All right, now read the instructions carefully so that you can avoid the basic mistakes. Few more strategies. Remember, you do not exceed the word limit. So instructions are very much important. Notice the headings and subheadings as it helps you to get the correct text in the passage. Okay, subheadings and headings important to read. Read the passage and question precisely to understand the in-depth meaning, which helps you to fill in the answers quickly. Identify the keyword to spot the correct portion of the passage, and note that you should not change the word form. Check that your grammar is grammatically correct and relevant to the particular incomplete note. Do not repeat the word which is already there in the question. Predict the correct word that completes the note before looking in the passage, and you will find instructions like no more than 2 words or no more than 3 words and or a number, okay, like that at the top of the question. So please be aware of these kind of instructions. Now I have, sample passage again for you for note completion questions. So something like this you will get in the exam as well. Now here the heading is a brief history of chocolate, and there are 4 paragraphs in total. So the questions will look like this. Choose no more than 2 words from the passage for each answer. Complete the notes below. And 3 major changes took place in the manufacturing process of chocolate. So this can be considered as a subheading, okay, or maybe a line related to the title. So this is very important. From here you can understand that the blanks are related to the manufacturing process of chocolate. Okay, we are talking about the manufacturing of chocolate here. So it will be easy for you to identify the words which you need for your answers. So you can see here 1, 2, 3 and till 7 we have 3 stages, first, second, third. So you'll have to gradually move on with the process. You can check the answers later on, guys. And now we come to table completion questions. So it is quite self-explanatory. You'll be given a table and all. Let's read about it first. Table completion questions come up frequently in the IELTS reading test. They look harder than they are, but as long as you understand what you have to do and have a good strategy for completing them, you will be able to score well. Explanation of this question: you will be given a table of information with gaps in it, and you are required to fill the gaps with appropriate words from the reading text. Now, skills needed. So let's see what are the skills needed for table completion. Scan for specific information, skim for general meaning, understand paraphrasing, identify synonyms, and read in detail for meaning. So these are few of the skills which you have to apply while doing table question. Tips. In this task, you are required to complete a table that summarizes some key points from the text. Read the instructions carefully. Notice the categories or the headings in the table to go to the required location of the passage. Information in a table usually follows the sequence. That means in order, in hierarchy. Okay. Sometimes for challenge, the answers may not be in the order of the passage. So read the information presented at each cell to understand the meaning. So please do not leave out any, table, column or row, because every information is crucial in the table kind of question. Decide what type of word is required for the blank. Pick up the word or words that make the information complete and correct to the passage, according to the passage. Take care not to write any word as your answer which is already present in the question statement in reworded form. Also, do not change the word form. Visualize the answer first where it is located so that you can find an answer and write the answer in detail. Okay. Then another simple tip is to never leave an answer sheet blank. Make an educated guess if you don't know the answer. Now, why is the, tip saying this? Why? Because there is no negative marking in IELTS. So you can always, guesswork and fill in the blank instead of leaving the blank empty. Okay. Next tip is consider the clues in the table. So please consider the clues which are given to you. Don't make things difficult for yourself by attempting to grasp everything. Okay, so no need to memorize and grasp everything. First read the question and then fill the necessary details. Common problems which the IELTS candidates face, let's see. Reading full passage and wasting time. Misspelling the words. Again, spelling is very crucial. Paraphrased information might confuse you, and not being able to find the clues in the table. Again, so paraphrasing is very important because there will be a lot of synonyms used in your paper. Again, a sample passage for you, and table question will look something like this. So you can see here, complete the table below, choose no more than 3 words. Again, a very important instruction. Please do not forget to read these from the reading passage for each answer. And then there is a table. Table heading is 2 forms of salinity and primary, secondary. These are 2 columns. And then you have to fill in the blanks. So again, by reading the passage and coming back to the table, you will find the answers. I have listed down few answers for you. You can check it later on. Lastly, we come to flowchart questions. Let's read about it a little bit. In IELTS academic reading flowchart completion, you will see a process or sequence of events presented as a flowchart. Your task is to identify the sequence and fill in the missing information by reading the text. The flowchart may be descriptive or an illustration, for example, a diagram, where you have to name the different steps for a process. This task lightly bewilders you with its illustrations, but it can become easier with the help of proven tips and strategies. In flowchart completion questions, the information both in the passage and in the questions remain the same, but it is likely to be paraphrased. So your answer should be taken from the passages. Use the skimming and scanning techniques or skills to excel in this task. So please guys, if you have not registered with us, if you do not know the meaning of skimming and scanning, please click on the link below to get access to our previous IELTS classes so that you can get the meaning of these 2 words. And in case if you have missed out any of the IELTS reading questions or question types, you can always go back and read them. Okay. Now let's read some tips about flowchart completion questions. So this is the first tip. Read the instructions carefully so that you do not exceed the word limit. Read the questions and highlight the words that you feel are important. Again, skimming and scanning. Notice the arrows, dates, verbs, or action words or adverbs to go to the required information in the passage. Then skim the text with the purpose of finding a sequence of events or processes. It helps you to identify which part of the text we should actually focus on the most. Next is to make the task challenging, the statements in the flowchart may not be in the passage order. So again, the answers can be or cannot be in the chronological order. So you'll have to be aware. So be prepared for that. Assume possible answers before reading to the passage so that you can pick the required word to suit the content as well as grammatical accuracy instead of hurriedly picking synonyms or the first word you read. So please, guys, this is a tip, a very big tip. Please do not, write any answer in a hurry. Always cross check. Always keep some time, 2 or 3 minutes in the end of your reading paper to revise. Okay, that is very important for your grammar check, for your spellings, for your punctuation in writing exam. Okay, so all of that is necessary. Next is read each statement presented, complete or incomplete, to understand the sequence. Try to recognize what type of word is required to fill the blank. It could be a noun, a verb, an adjective, or an adverb. Next is pick up the word or words that make the statement complete and correct according to the information in the passage. Take care not to write any word as your answer, which is already present in the question statement in reworded form. Also, do not change the word form. Understanding the layout of the flowchart will be useful to know the subject and content. Double check your answers, that means revise your answers. So there are some skills required for doing your or solving your flowchart questions. Let's see what are those. Skimming and scanning. Again, skimming means glancing over the paper quickly, and scanning is to highlight the information or to mark your important information, underlining them. Okay, time management skills. Then next is ability to paraphrase the sentence and ability to figure out the meaning of the sentence. These are few of the skills required out of you. Let's see what are some challenges faced by candidates. Students, sometimes in a state of hurry, exceed the word limit while answering the questions. Most often, synonyms and paraphrases will be used. So, identifying the answer may be tedious. It normally takes, more time compared to the other question types. Now, after looking at the challenging part, what are the challenges faced by candidates? Here is a sample passage for you, and you can see the, heading of the passage is doll restoration. So this is a kind of question which you might encounter in the exam, guys. So this is a flowchart question, sample question. Complete the flowchart below. No, choose no more than 3 words for each answer. You can see that instructions are very important here. Next is you can see a flowchart. So flowchart is mainly consisting of arrows and few boxes where you have to write your answers, okay, in no more than 3 words. So 2 main problems, 1 and 2. Again, you have to fill in the blanks. So this is a kind of sample question which you might encounter in the paper as well. So this is something like this you will get in the exam. Then I have listed down few answers. You can always go back to the video and always check your answers once you have completed the questions. So guys, this was all from my side. Now I allow you to ask your doubts and queries which you have on the comment section so that I can answer them one by one. Hello everyone. In case you have joined right now, no problem. You can ask me your questions for now and refer back to the video once it's uploaded on our channel. So yes, please start asking your questions, guys, related to today's class, or you can even ask your questions related to any module of IELTS exam. By the way, we have covered many questions of IELTS academic reading so far, and today also we covered up, one of the question, in fact, 3 or 4 types of questions today. of IELTS reading. And from Monday onwards, from the next week, we will be covering up, we'll be focusing on our listening module. So for reading IELTS, for IELTS reading, tomorrow is the last day for, the assessment and one more question type. And then we will be finished with the reading module. All right, so I can see questions coming up now. I am practicing reading test, however, unable to get more than 20 out of 40. What should I do? So in this case, I always suggest my candidates to, solve one passage or one section at a time. We have 3 sections in total in IELTS reading. So try to solve one section, then check the answers, check the explanation if it's given in the Google, or if you are planning to download our sample papers, we have also given the explanation with the answers, and then move on to another reading section. Okay, please do not try to do whole paper in one go, because that will just lower your confidence and demoralize you, and obviously you do not want that. So just try to go on with one section at a time, check the answers, and then come back again to the next section. And yes, these videos will really help you in case you're struggling with your IELTS reading section, because I have explained every question in detail here. And for every question, I have given tips, different strategies, different sample papers for every question. Are you understanding that? Not just module, for diagram base, for short answer questions, for summary completion table. So I have listed down everything in very much detail. It's your job to just go through our videos, which are free of cost, and attend our live sessions and ask your doubts. Okay. And yes, I would always suggest the candidates to be persistent. That means to be continuous with their practice session. What it means, no more than 2 words and or a number. So these kind of instructions will be given to you in your IELTS reading paper as well as IELTS listening paper. These are instructions. So in case, for example, if it's given, use no more than 2 words. So you can use only 2 words as your answer. Okay. So in case your answer is table, okay, so that will be accepted as an answer. Why? Because it is only 1 word. But in case you're writing on a table, that will be wrong, because on 1 word, on a 2 words, and on a table 3 words. So this is what I mean by this. Time management is my key problem. Please, I need more tips on how to read faster. Well, if you want to read faster, you should do a reading practice daily for at least 10 to 15 minutes. I'm not telling you to read for hours. That won't work. You'll get bored also very easily. So try to time yourself for at least, daily, maybe before going to bed or early in the morning, or whenever it feels comfortable for you. Read for 10-15 minutes. That would probably increase your speed. Also, time yourself for 20, 20, and 20 minutes for your reading section. Okay, and try to finish it in those 20 minutes separately, not in one go. So if you're trying to do the whole reading paper in 1 hour, like the exam situation, then it will not work. Try to go slowly with shorter steps. So try to complete one passage, one section of reading in 20 minutes. See how much extra time you're taking, and try to cover up those extra time or those extra minutes in another section. Okay. And once you're pro, as in once you're started, once you've started completing the whole reading paper in 1 hour, then gradually you can decrease the time with each section, because first and second section is quite easy. So you can start doing those first 2 sections in 15 to 17 minutes. So you'll be left out with 2-3 minutes for each passage, and then you can use those extra minutes in your last passage, which is the most trickiest section of reading. Highly effective. How can we get things unless we completely go through it? Hello, highly effective. I'm sorry, I did not get your question. Can you please elaborate on that? Yes, definitely. So you'll have to go through the IELTS, free Shiksha classes in detail from 1st June when we started. Go back to our recap sessions, and then you'll have to see them in detail if you're really serious about IELTS. And then after watching them, you can start practicing by your own, 1 or 2 question from each of the question types, kinds of questions. and then you can gradually keep checking the answers whether you're getting it right or not. I have also provided the example questions and explanation for them. And for your good news, it will be like a boon for all of you who are struggling with the questions. Why? Because tomorrow we are going to do a lot of question practice, so please do attend. Tomorrow is the last day for IELTS reading class, because from Monday we are starting with listening. So tomorrow I'm going to solve at least one or two questions from each of the categories. One, two questions of diagram labeling, one, two questions of flowchart, one, two questions of true, false. So every question I'll be covering up. Okay. The exam is for 1 hour, that is 60 minutes. No, writing section is not finished yet. So this is a good news for you in case you want to know about the writing module. So writing will be covering up in the third week of June. First week was for reading. Second is for your listening. Next week after that is for writing, and the last week will be for speaking. So we'll be covering up the IELTS module in detail. Thank you very much. You've really done justice to this. Well, I'm really glad to read these kind of comments. It really, encourages me as well. So thank you so much. What time it takes to get the score of IELTS exam? And it's usually done online only. I mean, exam. Okay. Yeah. So the time which is taken by, the IDP to get your result from is around, in case if you're giving PBT, that is paper-based test, then you get your result around 13 to 14 days, within 13 to 14, minimum and maximum of 2 weeks. But in case if you're going for CBT paper, that is computer-based, then in that case, you get your result within 4 to 5 days. How many hour the exam lasts for? As I told you, it's for 1 hour, 60 minutes. So guys, if you have not registered with us, please click on the link below so that you do not miss out on any live video, live session with us. It's every day. In June, we are, doing this free Shiksha IELTS classes every day on weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. Indian timings. Okay, 5 to 6 p.m. So please join our classes so that you can practice well with us. You will get, opportunity and time to ask your doubts here on the comment section live with me. So I'll answer them one by one, all for you. And also you will get free access to our sample papers. Okay, sample papers and assessments. As well as you can also get in touch with our expert counselors who are there to help you for your IELTS exam. In case you want to know about any other exam as well, they will help you free of cost. So we have a free counseling section team. So we have another 5 to 10 minutes in which you can ask your doubts. So I'm waiting for your questions. Any other question, guys, related to today's IELTS class? You're welcome. Welcome is for everyone who is saying thank you here on the comment section. You're welcome. It's all for you guys. You should make use of it. It's free of cost. You do not have to pay anything. And of course, these are very helpful because I have placed the PPTs in such a way that you get every knowledge, about IELTS paper in detail. And also, once you start, practicing by yourself, you will see the gradual increase in your score. And you can always save these videos with you and, watch them whenever you want to. But yes, I always recommend the students to come online and take a live class instead of watching the recorded videos. Take a live class because that will give you the exposure to ask questions, to see and listen to others' questions as well. Because sometimes you understand and sometimes you learn from others' questions as well. You're welcome. You're welcome. So I hope today's class was also clear enough and it would definitely help you. So somebody's asking, when are you helping with EOT? I guess I'm assuming that you meant OET, right? Is some that is something which you wanted to write? OET is one of the exams, occupational English test, which are basically taken by nurses and medical people who are from medical background. And unfortunately, we are not having classes on that right now. But yes, for IELTS, we have started the classes from June. And for the whole month of June, we'll be covering up IELTS in detail. Not for OET right now. So, George, I am really glad that you are online daily and you're attending the class here daily. And you have written this comment. Thank you so kindly for the deliberations. I'm now understanding the importance of lessons. Well, once you start attending the lessons and the IELTS classes, which I'm giving daily, then you will realize whatever you were missing, you are having it in one bunch. So thank you so much for writing that comment. I'm sure you're not from India, you're from outside India, and that makes me more happy because I can see so many people joining us from different countries and different, cities outside India, even outside India. So that makes me happier. Thank you so much, guys, for this, encouragement and inspiration. It's a very big enthusiasm factor for our team as well. Thank you for the correction. Well, that is why I'm sitting here, right? I have to correct you. So, yes, no problem. Keep making the mistakes because we are here to correct you. No problem. Any other question, guys, before I wind up? Because it's already time and I have to answer many of your questions. I guess I have covered up every question, I guess. Yes. So in case if I have missed out on any question, then please write it again on the comment section or just copy paste it. In case you do not have any question, that's all right. Just keep practicing from these free Shiksha IELTS classes and keep attending so that you do not miss out. And also please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And the link to our page is given on the description, in the description below. Your reading is very fluctuant, madam. Okay, thank you so much. I am assuming that you were trying to say your reading was very fluent, right? So fluent is the word. Fluent means in a flow. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. So somebody is asking, I am a nurse and do I have to do IELTS? Well, if you are planning to migrate to some other country, being a nurse, then please contact, the centers or the IDP centers. If you do not have any center nearby you, then you can always get in touch with our counselors. They will help you. You can, explain your situation to them. And our counselors, our counseling team, which is giving free counseling session, they will help you whether you are whether you want to give whether you need to give the IELTS or not. So yes, so do get in touch with them, I would suggest, because they will be the best people to guide you regarding IELTS. In case you need to give not IELTS and some other exam, they will guide you for that as well. And it's free of cost. You do not have to pay anything. Okay, it's free. So please click on the link below and you will get access to our free counseling session. Thank you so much from Nigeria. Okay, well, that's great. All right, guys. So I do not think so that anybody has any other question related to today's webinar or today's IELTS class. And that's all right. I think that was pretty much clear and very direct, whatever I taught through my PPT. So yes, no problem. Please click on the link below again, I'm telling you, so that you do not miss out on any future IELTS class. And yes, please do bring your friends and family together here on the free Shiksha IELTS classes so that in case they need the training, they will always get, so much knowledge from these or so much information from these kind of videos. So in case if you have failed to get in touch with your with our counselors, then no problem. Keep trying again, because sometimes they might be busy. They might not respond on time, but definitely they will get in touch with you. So don't worry about that, and I will look into it myself, and will talk to my team about it. Don't worry. And yes, thank you so much, guys, again for joining us here in our free session of ours. And take care, all of you. So in case you ask any question later on also and the live session has finished, don't worry, because we keep responding to your questions on time, with time. So yes, please do not worry about that. All your questions and all your queries will be answered. All right. And thank you so much for joining again. Take care, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow for our last IELTS reading session. So please do attend, because we are going to revise every question so far, whatever we have covered in reading till now. We are going to revise it tomorrow. Apart from that, I'm going to solve at least one or two questions from each of the category, okay, of questions. So please do attend. That will be beneficial for all of you. All right. Take care, guys. Bye bye. Thank you so much. Take care.